Good afternoon, everybody. Jim Fleeler, Vice President of Sales for Charlotte Products in Canada. Thank you for joining us today on our webinar. Today is Wednesday, March the 17th, 2021. We continue our educational series here. We have been for just about a year now, as a matter of fact, and we appreciate your participation for sure. We've had a lot of participants and a lot of people sending us notes and messages inquiring about ghost kitchens and really how will they change the food service and restaurant industry? Will they change the food service industry there? And there's a couple of other terms here that we'll talk about there. So we've done some investigation into it. Obviously, our Serve Clean line really fits well here. So I think we can come up with some good, really good ideas for you to lower the risk of an outbreak in facilities. So again, thanks for joining us. And it's getting a little warmer outside, a little sunnier outside, a little brighter outside, which should lift the spirits of us here. And we've just done our daylight savings change. So rumors are that's probably for the last time, but in North America, as a matter of fact, and I think people are looking forward to that as well. So again, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about obviously COVID-19, lots of things going on there, but we're really going to talk about food service and the term groceryants. And I'm sure most of you haven't heard that term, but it will become popular, and we'll explain what that is during the session here today. Obviously, ghost kitchens, their impact, and then towards the end, we've got Ask with Williams with his 10 technical minutes, and I think he's going to talk here today about surfactants and some builders and solvents perhaps and some of the ingredients, and we'll continue that as we go along. And if we have time, we'll have a few questions for an open mic session here, but we do have a fairly heavy content on these ghost kitchens, so that's obviously the priority today. Myself, for our new participants, I'm Jim Fleeler. I've already said that. I've been in the industry within our group of companies for almost 40 years now, as a matter of fact, and really enjoy teaching people and assisting people in facilities all across the world on really how to clean properly and really lower the risk of an outbreak. Ask with Williams, our Chief Operating Officer, is with us as well. And he's been around in the industry about 30 years and just a wealth of intelligence there as well. So that's who your speakers are today, for those that aren't aware. I want to talk about some food facts here, really. And this is from 2020, 2021, from Consumer Facts here. And here's some interesting stats that 92% of people searched for a restaurant online in the last 6 months. That's an amazing number. That's an extremely high number, 92%. Obviously in lockup, at home, state of emergencies, state and provincial lockdowns. I mean, they've all searched for a restaurant online in the 6 months. What I'd really like is the stat on really about the year before, how many people actually searched for it, and I think you'd probably find it maybe 10 or 20% or something, so dramatic increase. COVID-19, it has forever changed the way we traditionally eat outside and also how we shop. You know, and if you're a bricks and mortar store, you've got a new, unique set of challenges there. Consumers are restless. They're ready for change. There's a strong desire to try new foods and from new nationalities and things, new parts of the world. Really, because the education that people find out when they are searching online, they're being tempted by these things, which is actually good for everybody in the planet as a whole there. You know, everything's on the table regardless of where you are in the food chain, if you're a producer or you're a processor or you're a supplier, distributor, manufacturer, it doesn't matter. And this is the biggest statement that I found was interesting, is we are all hardwired for convenience now. And that's just, that's part and parcel with what's going on out there for sure. And it does really lay true there for sure. Food delivery is exploding. Since COVID, consumers are deeply concerned about their safety and contracting the virus. They're staying away from restaurants. In some of our previous webinars, we've spoken about, you know, when it is time to reopen, whether it's fully or partial or whatever, you've really got to advertise the fact that your facility is clean and safe and you're following the disinfectant protocol properly there. Restaurants are closed or limited to the number of people allowed indoors for dining. Obviously, we seem to get open and then we close again and then it's partial and whatever. And I think that's probably going to continue during 2021. And generally, people don't trust that restaurant cleaning and disinfecting protocol and waitstaff cleanliness. So that's the reasons why it's actually exploding, without question. Some historic and restaurant industry news here. Until COVID-19, the largest percentage of customers and sales generated came from inside dining experience. Reservations, preferred sitting, larger groups, family, company functions, celebrations, things like that. The largest percentage was inside. Takeout existed, but it was a very small percentage of the business, But since our bricks and mortar restaurants have been mostly closed, restaurants have had to rethink every business, every operating strategy in hopes of surviving, and staying solvent. Hence the introduction of ghost kitchens and grocerants that are ever changing our restaurant landscape, and they'll continue to evolve and change it as we go forward. Change is resistance to change, but you know what? I think overall this may be a good thing, certainly as the world evolves here. So, so that's just a good point to know. What are ghost kitchens? So let's just get right to it here. Ghost kitchens are not where Casper the Ghost hangs out or whatever it may be, as some people talk about here, but it's really a third-party food prep facility where private label or national food or brands are produced. They're not produced in the typical restaurant, so if you're going to a national chain and you see all the line cooks and the chefs and everything in the back, they are absent now. They are off-site, in a lower rent district, cooking facility there without any kind of flash, any kind of advertising whatsoever. They're standalone locations, and they could be hidden anywhere in an industrial area, as a matter of fact. They prepare and serve food for a multitude of different restaurants, all kinds of different brands, even competitors. And if you think about a food court in a major shopping mall, you could have 30 or 40 different brands there offering all types of food. Well, just imagine those in a sort of a commercial kitchen setting somewhere in an industrial area of some city, with all of those foods still being made, but from the same exact kitchen. They're not all standalones at all, right? So the consumer never really knows where the food is actually prepared, and it certainly isn't done if it's done in a ghost kitchen in the actual restaurants themselves, So an off-site third-party food prep area there. They've existed actually for about approximately the last 5 years. They're very limited, but there's been obviously a massive uptick since restaurants can no longer be open and there's limitations there. They've been forced to lay off employees and wait staff and things like that, but they still need to survive. It's difficult with government closures and openings, and you're allowed certain percentages in your restaurants there. Imagine how difficult it is for properly planning and staffing and bringing in inventory of perishable foods and supplies with all of those challenges you face. So restaurants, therefore, had to think outside their facility and really rely on a third-party food prep area there, and that's really what a ghost kitchen is. It allows them to virtually purchase prepared meals and continue to generate some revenue, promote their brand, and exist in business, but in a total different way. So how do ghost kitchens operate? They only prepare food and offer specific menus. They don't have any in-dining or anything else like that. They usually prepare about the top 10 items that a restaurant specializes in, but those items have to be specific and to be friendly for delivery. There's not a pickup site here at a ghost kitchen. These are all relied on the deliveries from companies such as DoorDash and Foodora, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Postmates, Skip the Dishes, it goes on and on and on. So basically all of those third-party delivery companies come to that ghost kitchen and deliver, even though you think it's coming from the national brand restaurant. It really isn't. They operate like an air traffic controller navigating planes, as a matter of fact, and what you generally see is if you specialize in pasta or you specialize specialize in burgers or seafood or whatever, they'll have a whole command center that you get that bit of the business there or whatever it may be. So there's some learnings going on there. They obviously pay a percentage of the food sale to cover the delivery costs, and the drivers actually qualify for a tip if they actually deserve it. So what type of restaurants do these kitchens affect? All national and global chains, franchises, entrepreneurs, long-standing local mom and pops there, restaurants, long-standing successful restaurants, new businesses and things like that. So I don't think anybody's really exempt. But here's a cleaning perspective of ghost kitchens. There's no customer visibility. There is potential for lax in cleaning protocol and health risks, because I'll go back to some restaurants. You can see the food prep area. You can see the cook stations. You can see the cleaning and the prep right from your seat in the dining room, as a matter of fact, but you can't see that in a ghost kitchen. So that's obviously an issue that we have to trust, okay? Mobile ghost kitchens could have cleaning limitations during the day because they're busy and whatever. What is their cleaning protocol, right? Consumers, they often choose and judge food establishments by visual appearance and cleanliness, and now that's not possible. And what cleaning measures are in place for third-party personnel and prep facilities and even delivery vehicles? I mean, if you've taken a taxi cab in the past, some are stellar, some are not so stellar. If you have a delivery food, all of a sudden, some vehicles are stellar and some may not be so stellar. So there's a question there, And then I talked a little bit about a word, groceryants, earlier. And this is something that's really came about in the tail end of 20 and really becoming relevant in 2021. And it's the latest innovative idea in food service, okay? And it's a hybrid of a grocery store and a restaurant, but inside the grocery store. Now, there has been some grocery stores before that had a little, maybe a cold or hot buffet or whatever, but that's different. That's changed. This is an actual restaurant found inside the grocery store. And if you don't believe that's a great marketing program, because they serve the food that you can buy on the shelves, okay? You can order freshly prepared food. You can eat inside the store dining. Grocery stores as a whole are open to the public in some limitations, but majority of capacity is available. They sell meal kits to restaurants now, and so they can prepare and sell. So if you have a pasta dish or a seafood dish or a sushi dish or whatever, they will sell restaurants these meal kits. So basically anybody with some food prep intelligence can put these together, and they don't need to prepare it in the restaurant. They also sell that to consumers for preparing meals at home, and stores such as Loblaw, get this, 50% of their corporate stores now include groceryants inside these dining experiences, okay? Brands such as Sobeys, T&T, Farm Boy, they're all participating, and this list is expected to grow. So a groceryant will be a common word as we move forward here for sure. Okay, food trucks play a part. It's not just about French fries anymore. They're changing their business model. They're upscaling their food offering. They roam the major cities. I mean, before, now they seem to be freer to roam and set up camp, in a mobile way throughout major parts of the city since COVID. They're not just staying on the same street corner all of the time. They also rely on ghost kitchens for delivery, believe it or not, for really offering different foods for you, other than French fries and burgers that they may be there. So food trucks play a part, and they take advantage of ghost kitchens as well. Okay, innovation, ghost kitchens have a need, there's no question. It can lower the costs of a regular restaurant preparing. It can expand their food offering. It can drive profitability for them. It can help them stay solvent in business as well. Okay, consumption of food at home is driving the demand. And, with anything, efficiencies obviously need to be discovered, but really change, but correct change is smart, no matter what business that you're in there. According to consumers, the current way of preparing and delivering food and the choice of food offerings require change. Right? Chefs are jumping on board. Investors are jumping on board with ghost kitchens as well, because really it's really the first, I would say, the first block in a foundation that where we are as far as technology and expansion. Food safety, though, however, clean and sanitized ghost kitchens face a higher risk of food illness, right? Just simply because they're sort of invisible and we don't know, right? There is a larger offering of different foods. There could be some contamination, between these different types of foods, right? There's a wider range of communities and consumers, so you've generally got a higher risk there, right? Independent restaurants have control of their sanitation programs, better control, right? The brand, regardless of where it's prepped, the quality and reputation is still on the line. So if you're buying something from a food ghost kitchen, and it came from a national restaurant, it still has the name of that national restaurant. So they're relying heavily on the cleaning and disinfecting and sanitizing protocol of a ghost kitchen, okay? Consumers generally have no idea. They're not aware of who's preparing their food. So they've really got to rely and trust that the proper sanitation programs are there in these invisible kitchens. Okay, so let's talk about, so hopefully you found that certainly, educational. Let's talk about what Charlotte Products has to offer you safer food prep facilities. And I've got a screenshot up here, and we just go across it. So you can see, look, we just don't have one or two products, and this is just a few of our products that we have here, but we have everything you need, bottom line, everything you need to clean, disinfect, sanitize your particular restaurants, ghost kitchens, food trucks, whatever and grocerants that we've talked about today. Okay, we've got several different materials out here. This is our Serve Clean brand. It's a national worldwide brand. It's a complete food service line. It also is a complete wear wash and laundry product line as well. And you can see clearly here, the wear wash lineup, the laundry lineup, and things like that. Now, Charlotte Products does not sell the actual equipment. Our distributors across North America certainly do sell, service, and lease the equipment. So we have the product that actually goes through the equipment to give you clean, safe, sanitized laundry and a dish in this particular case. We have everything you need for the back of the house, the kitchen, the washroom, 3-bay sink cleaning, your heavy-duty pot and pan, your rinse and your sanitizing, all registered with EPA numbers and DIN numbers for use in North America. We have a color-coded system, for training, particularly now. You may not have that long-term consistent staff there. You may have some temps and things during COVID, where you want to say, okay, all of these items that are green and they're labeled, they're numerically numbered 1, that's where you use Serve Clean, okay? Where it says number 2, that's where you use Sanitize. Where you see number 3, that's where you use Serve Clean, Degrease. So from a training point, we have it numerically covered and also color-coded, and then we have it written as well for you. So everything you need for the back of the house, everything you need for the front of the house, and everything you need to do dishes. Here's the front of the house example. You can see it's a general, restaurant here of some style with chairs and tables and things, and what we've got is we've got a super concentrated dispensing system that allows you to use 2 or 3 concentrates to clean everything, sanitize everything, and degrease everything if you really need that muscle degreaser in your particular restaurant. So all of these things, again, color-coded, numerical, the whole entire works, everything there for you. As far as 3-bay sink cleaning, the products are here. Heavy-duty muscle pot and pan cleaner. Registered sanitizer, 1 to 512. So the best economics, the least expensive ready-to-use product you can get, an accurate dilution for everybody. The way we set this up, if you look at the 2 dispensers in the middle of the screen, all your cleaning staff, your restaurant staff, your ghost kitchen staff does is they press the button for the heavy-duty pot and pan dish detergent, detergent, fill the sink to their desired level, wash their dishes, end of story. There's no glugging, there's no pouring, there's no nothing, right? As a sanitizer, I don't know anybody in the world that could really dilute 1 to 512, because that basically means it's a quarter of an ounce in a gallon container of water. That'd be almost impossible to do, but your staff, all they need to do is simply press the button in front of them, fill the sink to their desired level, test it with a ppm paper, and you should be right around 200 ppm, by the way, and you are set. Easy, no fuss, economical, and more importantly, you're following the protocol to lower the risk of outbreaks, okay? Our sanitizer line, I won't play this video, but as you can see here, there is a live video on this particular screen that's about 3 or 4 minutes in length, and it really talks about how to use Serve Clean Sanitize. And what we have here is we have our concentrated but open top, so you can free pour, you can rely on mixing yourself. We have our ready to use 946 ml or quart bottle, which is ready to use, so basically put a flip cap, put a trigger sprayer on top, and away you go. Or we have our concentrate that goes in our wall mounted dispensers there as well. So we have 3 great put-ups for you no matter what, and it really, I would encourage you to visit this short video here, and that's online right now, not only on the webinar here, but also at charlotteproducts.com on our webinars, and you can see under our videos as well. Okay, here's our super dispenser for a simplified food service program in your restaurant. Again, that cleaner, that's a peroxide based, it's much safer, it'll do all levels of detergency. We've got your final rinse sanitizer, you've got your muscle degreaser as well, all color coded, all at the touch of a button, very economical, no glugging, very little risk of residue, inexpensive. I mean, we've even taken in consideration designing the dispenser, putting a fresh water rinse available for you as well. That's our Serve Clean dispenser that will really do everything. I mean, here's the benefits of it. I mean, 95% of your facility you can clean, sanitize, and degrease with only 3 products. In fact, if you don't have a lot of grease buildup, you can get away with 2 products. Imagine having no need for a stainless steel cleaner, specific cleaner, spray and wipes, things like that, grout, all of those things. You've got everything you need pretty well in here. So it's a plug and play dispenser. It's easily installed. It's got all your backflow compliance. And if you look at your training chart on the right, I mean, this is amazing. You have a new worker starting, they can look down and say, okay, I need to clean the front reception areas. I've got to clean the floor. You can look at this chart, you look at the blue, clean light duty, you can look at the icons there for instructional cleaning, and away you go. If I want somebody, and I'm the supervisor, and I want somebody to clean the glass surfaces, I can instantly tell you, okay, this is the blue one you use, here's how the dispenser works, and you go clean all of the glass surfaces. If I'm going to do, a medium duty clean, I want to do the tables, the menus, some appliances and things like that, I use green. If I'm going to get right into the heavy duty spots and stains, maybe it's a wine stain in your restaurant, maybe it's some grout cleaning, maybe it's some fixtures in the washroom and things. I want to use heavy duty. And then obviously red stands for sanitizing, and that's a surface sanitizer that we have, and away we go. So 4 specific colors, 4 specific, really cleaning applications here for you. So easy to train. Imagine your facility with 4 products that clean 95% or more. That's our achievement from training. Okay, so really, I mean, our features of our Serve Clean line, they're innovative, they're proven formulas. We design our programs around actually performing in your facility in the real world, where all your first line is grease and grime and sanitizing and things like that. So we've got proven solutions. They're simplified, they're comprehensive, really, and if you're in any kind of facility with food service, then you definitely need to look at this particular line here for sure. There's all kinds of different dispensing options. As far as drains, because in your restaurants, look, there has not been a lot of use there. There hasn't been a lot of action around the drains, so what you could have is a buildup of potentially harmful organic growth and bacteria and certainly foul odors. We've talked about this specific product before. It is a sanitizer. It is a powdered chlorine treatment that really sanitizes pipes and traps and drains. It eliminates all of those nasty fruit flies and living bugs and foul odors and things, keeps your drains running clear, and it is just like laundry detergent. You take the cap, if it's a floor drain, you fill the cap and pour the whole content down, add a little water, and away it goes. If it's above the floor, we recommend half of a cup. And also, referring to charlotteproducts.com, the YouTube videos on there, there's about 3 or 4 of them. We've talked about it on previous webinars. If you are any facility, not just a restaurant, with drains, urinals, that one that smells all the time, sinks and things that are slow flowing and smell bad and whatever, this is your automatic solution here. Okay? As always, we pride ourselves on education, knowledge transfer. We are building our library of YouTube videos for you. There's more there than there ever has been. There's been a variety of topics. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of these educational webinars. We just didn't start in March and finish in April and give up. And I was going to say give up the ghosts, but that's the topic today, ghost kitchens. But I mean, we just didn't start and say we'll put a few videos out there. We have a responsibility to train and transfer knowledge and really help you lower the risk of an outbreak and really teach you proper cleaning protocol and disinfecting protocol. That's been our mandate all year. That's what we've been doing all year. And thank you for really staying with us and helping us with that. On our website, you can see here, it's ever changing, by the way. Week after week, you're going to see constant updates, and it's not a website that was built in 1972 and it remains the same knowledge today, because believe me, they're out there. I mean, there's everything you need to survive, everything you need here to improve. Our media center, if you look at the tabs across the top, you can see it highlighted in green and it's circled in red, webinars. That's where every one of our webinars are, and I believe there's over 40 now or close to it. Our educational blogs are there. So if you want to know about wood floor coatings or cleaning washrooms or servicing drains or grease traps or cleaning plexiglass and sneeze guards or disinfecting, that information is all there. And that is from, we're putting our whole entire team on there, from our regulatory compliance officers to our tech officers to our production people, from our logistics people, from marketing. Everybody is on here, so you get a whole sort of a better vision of what Charlotte is about there. Videos, news, and events are all on there. So if you're looking for information, and it doesn't matter what the topic is generally about lowering the risk, you can find it here without doubt. Okay, so with that being said, that really covers our ghost kitchens and our grocery aunt topic today. I think Asquith is probably hiding behind the camera right now, but we'll get him in here momentarily, and we'll talk about our 10 technical minutes, and we're going to talk a little bit about the chemistry of cleaning and really surfactants and things like that. A reminder before we go to Asquith, our next webinar is Wednesday, April the 14th, 11 o'clock EST, and remember that daylight savings time has changed. And we're really going to talk about spring floor care and how you can benefit from major labor savings to do with that topic, because that's really a lot of your labor used there. How it also is critical about lowering the risk of an outbreak in your facility. So Asquith, you must be in here somewhere. So Asquith, we'll get you. Thank you. How are you today? Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, Jimmy, and I am well. And how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I have a gift for us today, as a matter of fact. That we have. You know how they were accusing us of going over our 10 technical minutes? Well, our new director, Jen, gave us a countdown clock here now. So just so you know, when it goes white, we're out of time.
So wait. What is here, Jimmy? Are you saying then that you can't speak as much?
They're saying that I can't, I guess, and they're saying that you're sounding a little more like me as well. So
no way.
You're talking a little bit more, so we better get to it. But Wednesday, March 17th, how was your daylight savings time change? I mean, this is normally the tough one, right?
This is a tough one.
Yeah. How did that go?
I look forward to it though, Jimmy.
Yeah?
It's good. It just takes a little bit of getting used to, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I noticed you were about an hour late though on Monday morning. Is that a reason from the daylight savings, or did you get a traffic jam when nobody's on the road? Well, we better get to it. I can tell you because our time is going. You notice we got a little cake here today, Asquith.
And what's that cake for, Jimmy?
That cake is again, Jen brought that in. I don't know if she baked it or not, but we've been doing this just over a year now, believe it or not.
No way.
You know, and
no way.
Actually, you know what? I think about it. I think today's probably St. Patrick's Day too.
But where's the green?
Well, I didn't bake it, so you have to take that up with our director here. So what you're going to do?
Jen, we need a green cake next time. Okay?
A green cake, Jen. It wouldn't be a bad idea, you know. So if I would have baked it or you, it would have been green. I know. Maybe it's green inside.
Okay.
She's just verifying it's green inside. So anyway, well, today we talked about ghost kitchens and grocery aunts, which is a new term, you know, of a hybrid grocery store and in-store dining, as a matter of fact, which is really changing our food service industry. And you know, we really want to emphasize the fact that, look, change is good, proper change is good, but we also support our long-standing restaurant customers and distributors across North America, in fact, the world in that particular case there. So we'll support them all, but I think we're all looking forward to really getting the restaurants open and having I'd like to have
we all would, Jim.
I mean, I'd like a burger and fries or a steak or a salmon, or I'd like something, you know, inside. It'd be pretty nice because my grilled cheese sandwiches are wearing a little thin, I think, now there. So, but I did put a little piece of ham on it last week to change it up there. But what are you going to talk to us about today in your 10 technical minutes, which is ticking down, by the way?
Well, you took up half of the time already, Jim.
Probably did.
Well, I guess today what we'll do, we'll talk a little bit about surfactants, because the last time I was here, we did say that we'll talk a little bit about surfactants, how surfactants work. We'll talk a little bit about just basically the chemistry of cleaning, and we'll just do a quick overview because you got the clock on me.
No, Jen has the clock.
Jen has the clock on me.
I'd give you half an hour myself.
Okay.
Because you're valuable,
but you know,
let me bother you, but I'll hold it right here. Okay. Go for it. There.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about surfactants, and I think we talked about surfactants last time, basically expressing that surfactants, what they really do is reduce the surface tension of water, so that they make water wetter. So instead of water, you know, beating on a surface like this, with surfactants, you'll have something looking more like that. You see? And then so what happens here, you know, you can see here, you can get into the crevices and so on and remove soils a lot easier than we would normally. Right? So surfactants are important. Now, you know, soils, generally speaking, are hydrophobic. They don't mix nicely with water and that kind of thing, right? So if you have soil here, as an example, it's hydrophobic, right? It's afraid of water.
So would it be fair to say you can compare oil and water?
Yes,
the way they
don't like each other.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
the same concept. So you could imagine that if this was a piece of soil, you know, oil, hydrophobic.
Yeah.
Okay? If it's hydrophobic, what happens here is now that you've got surfactants dispersed in the solution. So the surfactants basically is a big long chain molecule that has a hydrophobic and a hydrophilic portion.
Right.
So it's more like this with a tail, right? So you have here the hydrophobic side, phobic, and then here you have the hydrophilic end, which means the water loving.
Okay.
So you got this piece here that loves the water and this piece here that hates the water, right? So birds of a feather flocks together.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to have what's happening here is that this piece here is the soil would more or less accumulate on this end here. So you're going to have all these, you're going to have something looking more like this. So you got all these portions that love the water will get to the water, and the pieces on the inside here, which are hydrophobic, will get together because birds of a feather flocks together. And so the soil would be inside here because the soil itself is hydrophobic. All right? So that's how you get the cleaning effect. So what happens is that because of mechanical action and all the sorts of stuff that's happening here, you get this soil being removed nice and easy, because all these portions here would be the head of the molecule, if you will, which are loving the water. So what this is called a micelle.
Well, you're certainly staying true to your technical minutes here with your technical, which is great information, by the way.
So that's how you remove soils. And this process is called an emulsion.
Okay.
You see? So you got two soils. The soils in it could be fabric, it could be on a substrate for that matter. And then you've got a surfactant. The surfactant then has two sides. It has the hydrophobic and the hydrophilic. The hydrophobic is the tail, the hydrophilic, the head, if you will. So all these here love water, hates water on the side, but the soil in here is what it loves because the soil itself is hydrophobic. And it just takes the whole thing away. And that's a micelle. This whole process is micelle, taking the soil away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Now, are there different grades of surfactants?
Of course. There are different types of surfactants: anionic surfactant, non-ionic surfactant, etc., etc.
And are some better than others?
Of course, they're
heavy
quality.
Duty, like if you had a lot of grease or tars or whatever, like would there be better surfactants for that particular?
Yes, and different surfactants related to this type of soils. So some surfactants are more suited for heavier soils than others. And we can go into that further as well. But I know you're watching the clock on me here. So one other quick thing here that I could touch on. Every star, Jimmy, needs some support. Yeah. You know that you're a star. You need support.
You need support,
right?
Yeah.
So what happens? That's where the builders come to play.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The builders, the star is a surfactant in any chemistry. The star is a surfactant. He's the guy who goes in, makes the water wetter, to do exactly what we just said here, puts everything together, gets the micelle, gets the emulsion taking place and taking the soils away. But the surfactant is nothing without the builders.
Okay.
The builders would be in a football game then to protect the quarterback. The quarterback is a surfactant. That's you, Jimmy. So someone's got to be out there protecting you.
Yes.
Keeping,
that would be nice.
keeping all the things away from you. You see? So in water, and you know about water hardness and so on. Mm-hmm. In water, you've got things like calcium, you got things like magnesium, you got iron, you got a whole bunch of things in here that interferes with the surfactant. It interferes with the performance of the surfactant. So if you've got hard water, for instance, and you've got a surfactant, the surfactant does not perform well in hard water unless you've got the formulation well built, meaning you've got things in the solution to take away or inhibit these guys here, the magnesium, the calcium, the iron, and anything else that would interfere with the performance of the quarterback.
So they have to work in all types of water conditions.
You got it.
Right? So you want to get the end result regardless of what water conditions.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Right? Okay, so when you prepare formulation, we have to prepare the formulation to work in any condition, whether it's hard water or soft water. Mm-hmm. So we plan on hard water for the most part, right? So that we get efficacy regardless of the solution in which we're running.
Okay.
I think your clock is going. Does that mean I run out of time, Jimmy?
I think it's time for
Okay. So let me wrap up quickly. So what happens here? The builders, or maybe we can take this in another section here. But the builders will then obstruct these guys here to make the surfactant more effective. And of course, we can talk about enzymes, and enzymes basically proteins that are specific to specific soils. So protein stains would have protease, which is an enzyme that would go in and take away, like little Pac-Man, go in and take away and eat away anything that may be left behind there. So if it's fats, you can have lipase, which was an enzyme to go against lipids or fats, etc., etc. So we can have all those things coming together to make this whole thing clean.
Wow, that's
All right.
There's a lot involved.
There's a lot involved in cleaning.
I mean, obviously 10 minutes doesn't allow
It doesn't do it, of course, because I run out of time here.
Yeah, well, I just said it. That's all I did there. But, you're supposed to set it and forget it, but we can't forget it, I guess, there for sure. But obviously, there's obviously a lot of science
Yes.
and behind the chemistry of these things. And I think just moving forward, we need to just sort of maybe we do a session, because I know people have asked if we just do a technical session, for instance, a webinar where we can talk about all these things, because I know positive emulsion is critical to the end clean result, particularly in industrial applications and things like that, because we want to know we want that clean end result. So I think we'll end up going there. But yeah, I can get this for sure. And for those that are a little more advanced, obviously they'll get it more than the people that are just learning in our industry. But I think overall we can start somewhere, so that's great. I know we don't have time for questions today. There was one that a lady named Debbie was calling in, and we didn't answer it yet, and I just want to take time for that. She's got maple syrup in a glass jar, and they've used it, I guess, for storage, and then they decant it when it's ready or whatever. And when they empty the maple syrup, it's leaving a film on the inside of the glass jar. And she was asking, how do I get rid of that? And any suggestions there for Debbie?
Well, maple syrup is water soluble.
Yeah.
So I say just add some boiling water.
Maybe a surfactant?
Or you could add some surfactant.
A good surfactant. Yeah, boiling water, I think
I
would do it
should
for sure.
solubilize that.
It is sugars.
Yeah. Boiling water should be able to solubilize
I think
that.
so there. So there's probably, maybe it's in real hard water conditions or whatever. She didn't really specify there, but I'll send her an email back and suggest that. Because glass, you can boil water like preserves and everything else there.
I would think the syrup is water soluble, and I think that should be easy enough to do.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, I think we've certainly got to wrap it up here. We've talked about ghost kitchens and grocery aunts a little long. We did get your 10 technical minutes.
Jeez, I think maybe we need it to be 15 technical minutes.
I think we better put in a vote there, you and I. It is our 1 year, just after our 1 year anniversary. We want to thank everyone for supporting us there. It's been fun. We're going to continue to do these things, and a big shout out for obviously for St. Patrick's Day. Today, as a matter of fact, and hope everybody stays safe. Any closing remarks from you?
No, I just continued with the same theme we've had all along. Social distancing, wear the mask, even though you've had your first shot.
Yeah.
Or even your second shot.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not that old. I haven't got my shot yet. I'm a few. Apparently, they're telling me June for my age bracket.
Okay.
Which is 25.
Yes, I understand that.
As a matter of fact, but when we get the vaccines in the arms, we'll be better there.
Yeah, we're better, but we still have to wash our hands, we still have to social distance, and we still have to wear the mask.
Yeah.
Until we all are inoculated.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about herding in the next session there, and how important it is with vaccinations.
And herd immunity. Yes, absolutely.
We have lots we can talk about for sure. But anyway, with that being said, thanks for joining us here today, and hopefully you found this very beneficial. And we'll see you on April the 14th, I believe the date is there, at 11 o'clock EST time, and taking into consideration daylight saving. So anyway, thank you very much. Stay safe.